Hello, hello, hello. Today is November 7th, 2022, and the calendar on the wall says 2 weeks have passed since Norm Winski told us what was going on in the heavens, and that means we're due for another heavenly treat. Norm, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I'm going to first review. I was last on your show on October 21. Let you know what was coming up here in the latter part of October. Over the AC, if you see my notes there, hopefully. It's the AC after 21st. That's over the weekend. Excuse me. Friday was the 21st. And we had Saturn in Aquarius turning direct. If you want to know about these technical terms, give me a call. I'll give you a free class. So we had indicated by that coffee and copper. And by the way, the stock market is indicated for all these points. Commodities are narrow filters and only respond to certain factors, like certain planets, certain signs. Then we had the night of the 24th. We had a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, and that's your financials, grains, precious metals, and then because it was in Scorpio, we were featuring cocoa, hogs, and again, they're under financials too. T bonds are indicated under Scorpio, so that's a double hit for bonds. Then we had Jupiter is going retrograde now and backed up out of the sign of Aries and changed signs, going into Pisces, changed signs there. And because it was hitting the beginning of Aries, it made angles, key angles to other signs and indicating other markets. So coffee, corn, gold, oil, sugar, wheat. Alrighty, so let's take a look at how we did. Here's the corn. We had the moon there at the night of the 24th. We looked to do the trade on the next morning's opening the 25th, and you can see there the corn had a little pullback there, and then a little pop up for you could have made some money. Then it had a little bigger pullback over here was Jupiter changed signs, and then that had an even bigger rally, so that was a really good one there. Here's the beans had a pullback into the moon, and then they had a big rally. That's about 80 cents. That's worth about $4,000 for the soybeans. Here's the wheat just went sideways, so I marked that after that pulled back, then it just went pretty much sideways. So you didn't have much chance to make any money there. So I marked that as a miss with a red arrow. And then over here on our second point, it was going sideways, so I marked that as a pass. Here, Coco rallied into the moon in Scorpio and into the new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio. And that was a nice top there, and you had a pretty good drop for 1 to 2 days. And coffee, it doesn't look like much there because the market has moved so much, been down, down, down. The scale has been squeezed and been squished. So a 10-cent move, which is $3,750, looks like a nothing on this chart, but it had a little 10-cent bounce there. And if you sold there, then you would have done really well because that's about a 30-cent move, which I think is about $10,000. Over here, it was just going sideways, so you do nothing. Here's the textbook example of what we're looking for, what we'd like to see. Sugar went down, down, down into our Jupiter point, and then it went up, up, up. That's about textbook as you can get. And here's hog just going sideways, so that's a yellow for a nothing pass. And here's oil rallied into our Jupiter point there, and it had a nice drop for about three and a half handles. As you know, 3 handles would be $3,000. Here's copper rallied up there to that, just past that top there on the next morning, sold there, and you would have, I think, about 30-cent drop there, and that would be about $7,500 if my math is right. Every penny is $250 on the $250 on copper. There's a silver, had a 1 day drop there of 60 cents. That's worth about $3,000 on the big silver contract. Here's your gold, had a pullback low there, and then rallied about 30, 40 handles. That's $3,000 to $4,000. And here's the S&P. Did not respond to Saturn or the solar eclipse very well. It did go up a little bit there, but you didn't have much chance to make any money. But however, it pulled back into our Jupiter point, made a nice pullback there, and you had a chance to get in right on the lows, and then it rallied up into the 28th weekend when we had Mars turning retrograde. And now this is really interesting. I'm going to go off script just for a minute and tell you what happened there. I wrote this up in my letter over the 28th weekend for my November letter, which went out on Sunday night, the 30th. And I told about how I'd done research way back in the 80s and used to measure all the retracements on the S&P, as it would have different retracements. And one of the ones I discovered was, this is not in any Fibonacci Elite Way book that I know, but it's the 0.309. Now, what is 309? Well, I also discovered that 50% retracements often occur in the fourth wave of your Elliott wave. And what would be 618 of that? It would be 309. In other words, half of 618 is 309. So guess where this thing went to? It went almost exactly to the 309 retracement of the entire 2022 bear market, which topped on January 3rd, 4th at S&P 38.19 roughly, rounded up from the pennies there. And then we had the big low in October, big washout about the 13th, 14th of October at 34.91. If you take that range and take 0.309 of that and add it to the low, you get about 39.02, which is exactly just about where we closed on Friday the 28th. And I wrote in the letter, this should be a significant resistance level, and it took about a day or so to get there. But then we rolled over, and that was on only above there for a few minutes on a big gap up opening on Tuesday the 1st, and then it rolled over and we dropped about 180 handles, which you know, if you trade S&P Mini, that's worth about $9,000. So that was pretty good. All right, we had, as Gann would say, we had time and price come together there with Mars turning retrograde and the 309 retracement. And, you know, when the planets change trend, the markets change trend. All right, here's the solar eclipse here for the bonds. I told you that was a double whammy for the bonds. And there we go, right there. And you're buying right near the low, and then you had a nice rally for about, that's about four handles there. It's good for about $4,000. The dollar index did not work. It just kept going down, so that's a miss. Here's the Aussie dollar, had a pullback low there and had a nice rally. And here's the British pound, that had a nice pullback low there and a nice rally. And as all on those were all on the moon. Here's euro, did not respond. It kept going higher for about a day or so. That's, and even if you sold it there, you wouldn't have taken too much drawdown. So I marked that as a miss. And here's your Japanese yen, had a nice pullback low there and then a nice rally. So a little better improvement over last time, Jeff. I had 17 winners, 5 misses out of 22 for 77.27% winners. Now what's coming up? Well, tonight, this is Monday the 7th of November, and tonight, actually early tomorrow morning, Eastern time, about 6:03 in the morning, there will be a, we had a couple of points here over the weekend. Jupiter to the moon, to the U.S., and then Saturn to the U.S., moon's north node to the U.S., and Saturn. So the U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. We only had a one-day rally on Friday, so that was not a high confidence change in trend, which is what I told my people. We're looking for extremes. We want to forecast turns when we have some kind of extreme. You want at least 3 days in a row would be nice, and the ideal is more like 4 or 5 or 6. So anyway, tonight we have heliocentric from the point of view of the sun. Mars entering Gemini, changing sign for Mars from the point of view of the sun. That's possibly changing trend for stocks. And then the big deal tonight is early tomorrow morning. What I started to say was at 6:03 in the morning Eastern time, there'll be a full moon. Wait, that's not right. Yeah, that's right. Full moon, lunar eclipse in Taurus. And so we'll round up the usual suspects we always do on a new moon, full moon. Financials, grains, precious metals, and then because it's in Taurus, the bull, we'll be looking at cattle and cotton. And then the next night, that'll be Tuesday night, now they got another big deal going here with Mercury at 0 latitude. That's one of my top points also. So this might be like a 2-day affair here. We might maybe put in it could be just whipsawing back and forth. If we go up of another day, though, then we might have an even better, higher probability turn for early Wednesday. So here we go. You got corn, soybeans, wheat for Mercury's grains. Okay. So anyway, here we go. If you're not familiar with me, I've been doing this a long time. I started investing in college, and then right out of college, I went to Chicago and became a Chicago floor trader, trading my own account on the Chicago Options Exchange when it was only 2 years old. Helped pioneer options, and then later went on the Chicago Board of Trade, traded there too. And here we go. And so you can contact me here in beautiful Naples, Florida. If you need any help, call me up. I'll give you a free class on the terminology or whatever you like, and tell you how you can get my letter, or learn astrology, whatever you like. So there we go. We got 239-594-3939. You can email me at nwinski at embarqmail.com, or call me for free on Skype at nwinski_1. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Jeff.
Norm, it's just unbelievable. I know of very few people who can win at commodities with the consistency that you do. I'm really thrilled you can come on here and tell us all your stuff. Norm, we'll look forward to seeing you back in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Everybody have a
goodbye.
great week.